My name is Rebecca, and what I'm about to tell you is something I've never told anyone publicly before. 3 years ago, I checked into a hotel that doesn't exist. It's not on Google Maps, it's not in any city records, and according to the police, it burned down in 1987. But I stayed there. I slept in room 307, and that was the worst mistake of my life. If you're watching this alone at night, I suggest you turn the lights on because this story isn't just scary, it's real. 3 years ago, I was traveling for work. I'm a senior sales consultant, and my job requires me to travel alone to small towns across the country. That winter, I had a client meeting in a remote mountain town called Ravensbrook, population barely 3,000. No airport, no train station, just one highway cutting through miles of forest. My meeting ran late. By the time I started driving back, it was already 11:45 p.m. Snow had started falling. At first, it looked beautiful, soft flakes glowing under headlights, but within minutes, it turned into a full storm. Visibility dropped, roads iced over, GPS signal kept cutting out, and then my car engine died, right in the middle of nowhere. No signal, no streetlights, no houses, just forest and silence. I tried calling roadside assistance, no network. Tried restarting the car, nothing. The temperature outside was dropping fast. I knew if I stayed in the car all night, I could freeze. So I grabbed my coat, flashlight, and started walking down the highway. That's when I saw it. A faint flickering light deep through the trees. At first, I thought it was a house, but as I walked closer, I realized it was much bigger. It was a hotel. The building looked old, not vintage old, abandoned old. Paint peeling off the walls, broken neon sign hanging above the entrance. The sign flickered weakly. Pinewood Grand Hotel. Some letters were dead, so it read more like INEODGRANDHOTEL. I hesitated. Every instinct told me something was wrong, but the storm was getting worse. I had no choice, so I pushed the front door open. It creaked loudly, echoing through the empty lobby. Inside, the air smelled like dust and something rotten. The lights flickered. Old chandeliers swayed slightly, even though there was no wind. And behind the reception desk sat a woman. She looked to be in her late 50s, pale skin, gray hair tied in a tight bun, wearing an outdated hotel uniform. She didn't greet me, didn't smile, didn't even blink. She just stared. I forced a nervous laugh. Hi. My car broke down outside. Do you have any rooms available?" She slowly slid an old register book toward me. The pages were yellow, brittle with age. I looked down. There were names written, but all entries stopped at 1987. I frowned. Is this the current register? She spoke for the first time. Her voice was dry, emotionless. Sign. Just one word. I hesitated, but signed anyway. When I wrote my name, I noticed something strange. The ink beneath my pen looked wet, as if someone had just written there moments ago. But the last visible name was dated 1987. She handed me a rusted key. Room 307. Her eyes locked onto mine. Do not leave your room after midnight. I laughed awkwardly. Is that a joke? She didn't respond. The hallway leading to my room felt endless. Dim lights, faded carpets, portraits on the walls whose eyes seemed to follow me. My footsteps echoed too loudly, as if the hotel was hollow. When I reached room 307, the door was already slightly open. I froze. I was sure no one had walked past me. Slowly, I pushed it open. The room smelled of mold. Inside, a bed with yellowed sheets, a cracked mirror, a rotary phone, an old television. I dropped my bag and sat on the bed. The mattress sank unnaturally deep, like something underneath moved. I stood up immediately. That's when the TV turned on by itself. Static filled the screen. Then, a figure appeared, standing in a hotel hallway. My hallway. It was walking towards room 307, towards me. I turned to the door. Silence. Looked back at the TV. The figure was closer now. Then the screen went black. I checked my watch. 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes to midnight. Suddenly, the phone rang. I stared at it. It rang again. Slowly, I picked it up. Static, then whispering, multiple voices overlapping. Leave. Get out. Too late. I slammed the phone down. The lights went out. Complete darkness. Then, knock, knock, knock on my door. Slow, heavy, deliberate. I remembered the receptionist's warning. Do not leave your room after midnight. The handle began to turn, but the door was locked. The knocking stopped. Then, footsteps, dragging, down the hallway. Shaken, I searched the room for answers. Inside the drawer, I found an old newspaper clipping. Headline: Pinewood Grand Hotel destroyed in fire, 47 dead. Date: December 12th, 1987. My stomach dropped. There was a photo of the victims, hotel staff lined up, and there she was, the receptionist. Same face, same uniform, dead for over 30 years. Behind the clipping was a guest list, room numbers beside names. Room 307. Every guest assigned there was marked missing. The last entry was being written in fresh ink. My name. I heard footsteps again, this time stopping outside my door. I couldn't stay inside. Fear overpowered the warning. I opened the door. The hallway lights were now red. At the far end stood figures, dozens of them, burned, charred, half-melted faces, hotel guests. They all turned slowly towards me and began to walk. I ran down endless corridors, doors slamming, whispers chasing me. I reached the lobby. The receptionist stood there, blocking the exit. You signed in. Her jaw cracked unnaturally as she spoke. You belong to the hotel now. The burned guests gathered behind me. I was trapped. The receptionist pointed to the register. All guests must stay forever. The hotel around me began to change. Walls blackened. Smoke filled the air. I was seeing the night of the fire. Guests screaming, running, burning alive. Room 307 was where the fire started. No one inside ever escaped. I grabbed a broken chandelier rod, smashed the lobby window. The glass shattered. Cold air rushed in. The ghosts screamed. I jumped through, and everything went black. I woke up in the snow, rescue workers standing around me. They said they found me unconscious beside an empty lot. No hotel, no building, just ashes buried under snow. Police confirmed Pinewood Grand burned down in 1987. No survivors from room 307, until me, a woman who somehow walked out alive. Months later, I received a package. Inside was a rusted key, room 307, and a note. You checked out, but your stay isn't over. Sometimes at night, my phone rings. When I answer, I hear the hotel lobby bell. Would you stay one night in the strange hotel? Sleep carefully tonight, because some hotels never let their guests leave.